Bob McMillan. I'm producer of Valhalla Video and I support rail.
Eddie Isaacs, environmental planner at District 12 Caltrans.
Kirk Schneider, Caltrans District 7, formerly OCTA, Yellow Bus, SAC-RT, and Vallejo Transit.
Dustin Slaughter, videographer.
Barry Schumann, first time here. Just love transit, riding Metrolink and Amtrak.
Mike Leisha, TDM marketing consultant.
Bradley Paulson, Torrance Transit.
Tom Rubin, I like the sandwiches.
Justin Walker, a USC civil engineering student and transit advocate.
Sam Levy, I'm the USC student and Metro Rider.
Philip Beza, post-production, freelance, love transit.
John Ernster, I'm one of the attorneys for Metrolink.
I'm Avery Grimes. I'm working with Metrolink now. Mostly a freight railroad guy, but I started off in transit in my early days.
Hi, I'm Patrick Murray. I live and work in Culver City and was on a beautiful new bus for the 439 today that had the new bus smell that the driver hated driving.
My name is Zach, recent Cal State Fullerton graduate and newly unemployed.
Real world.
My name is Zach Behrens. I'm the editor of LAist.com.
Stephen Box, I'm his bodyguard and also Bike Riders Collective.
Okay. And our speaker tonight, we kind of have a very casual style here. All the executive secretaries get like really uptight, like, can we have like a 40-page PowerPoint come through and the guy's got to stay in the script. And what really kind of connotes really good executives I've learned in transit is somebody you can say like, get up and talk for 20 minutes and just talk about railroads or whatever. And they just can talk and there's no problem, and it doesn't matter what the topic is, they know the material really well. And those are the fun kind of executives. In some cities, unfortunately, you've got executives that have to have a script and they're really very controlled, and they usually have generally unproductive transit in their cities. So we've had this new era in transit in Los Angeles, Southern California. We've been lucky enough in the last 6 months, we've had Will Kempton, who's the OCTA Chief Executive Officer. Last month we had Bruce Shelburne, who is the schedule manager for Metro Rail, the urban rail system. Last summer we had Art Leahy a couple times, and Art's going to be our speaker next month again. And so we've had a pretty good run. We've had Rick Thorpe, who's the executive director of the Expo Light Rail Project. So we've had a pretty good run on some really fun speakers. So tonight we're going to have some fun with John Fenton. John Fenton started in the railroad business probably when he was really little, I would guess. And from that time he worked around the railroads. He went to school here in Los Angeles. He's got that mandatory USC degree, just a joke. But you know, that's an Art Leahy joke. And anyways, he came here to Metrolink in like last week or 2 weeks ago.
6 weeks.
6 weeks ago. But 2 weeks ago, you know, there's this committee meeting. It's like going to be 5 minutes long, and you know, it's like we get there, the meeting starts, and all of a sudden John gives his report. Usually it's just a report, well, 75 trains were at 18% on-time performance or something like that, and like John comes through with like, we've reorganized the staff, we changed this, and it's like, whoa, somebody's really doing something. He's been here 4 weeks. So anyways, as it were, we're gonna have some fun tonight, and just let John be John, and then he'll just throw the door open to questions. And John's got his colleagues and friends also. So Dr. Grimes is his friend from Denver, and so we've got some interesting things. I have to mention that when some of my friends heard he was with Kansas City Southern, all of a sudden it's like, well, guy works for Rolls-Royce Railroad. So that's the story.
Thank you.
And I'll take the $100 again.
I got it.
Not literally.
About that Rolls-Royce.
Where'd you want me? Over here?
Yeah, against the
Okay, they're going to put me up against the wall.
Camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Mugshot.
Photo group.
You know,
Oh, you know what? One more thing before we get started.
You know, my entire life has been spent in the freight world, so transit's new to me. But, you know, to kind of give you an idea how far things have come. When I graduated from school, I worked in the railroad industry for a government agency where we switched, was an ammunitions depot, so we'd haul bombs around. So you never wanted to derail or have a bad mistake there, because it was bad news. But when I graduated, my father-in-law, he comes up to me and says, where are you going to work? I said, well, I'm going to work for Missouri Pacific Railroad. He shook his head and said, couldn't you get a better job than that, you know? So that was right at the time when Staggers Act, and they were deregulating the railroad, and the railroads were in pretty tough shape. You all remember. A lot of you guys don't remember. You read it in history books, but you know, the freight railroad had to get really efficient. And you know, you look at the history of railroading and where it's begun. And for those of you who have aspirations to be in the railroad industry, you know, I'm going to give you a little perspective of what I think makes a successful transportation manager, and I think it transcends whether it's freight or whether it's transit. One thing about it, you need to be prepared to move. You know, I have moved in my career, I think I'm on number 18. So I have lived everywhere you could imagine, from Canada to all over the South, the West, the Midwest. So I've been exposed to a lot of different types of railroading. You know, I've managed, this will be kind of the culmination of, you know, from intermodal facilities to mainline work to hump yards to automobile networks to chemical networks. You know, I've seen a little bit of everything. And if you want to be successful, the one thing I learned early on, you need to be a good practitioner of safety. Understand what drives safe performance. And if I credit anything about my USC degree, my master's was in systems management. And, you know, I'd seen a lot of bad accidents in my career. It makes an impact on you. When you have a train crew member or somebody who works for you that is killed or seriously hurt, it makes an impact on you. So the one thing early on in my career, I wanted to become a good practitioner of leading people safely. And I became a student of how you do that. You know, a lot of people think safety is just, people don't understand what safety is. If I ask this group, what's safety, what are you going to tell me? What is it? What's safety? We talk about it all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Taking all measures to prevent injuries and death.
Well,
Feasible.
that could be describing the events, but what is safety?
I think it's adherence to operating discipline.
That's what it looks like. See, we want to describe what it looks like. And what safety is how you manage risk and probability. And you're never going to eliminate all the risk in a workplace. It's almost impossible. So how do you safeguard against risk? But I'll never forget, I walked into, I took a class on safety at USC. And, you know, here I was managing everything from Yermo, California, the whole LA basin. And there's nothing like railroading in LA. It's an open sport. I mean, it is, you know, just the amount of 12 million people in this area, the number of grade crossings, the number of things that are out there, it's amazing what happens. So I went into the course that night, and the professor was a guy named Ted Ferry. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was one of the leaders in his field in safety. And he looked